Sabihin ko na. Mag-queue pa ba ako? IMI's annual stockholders meeting will start in 10 minutes. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to IMI's 2024 Annual Stockholders Meeting. Let us start the proceedings with the Philippine National Anthem.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Bayang magiliw, perlas ng silanganan, alam ng puso, sa kitip mo'y buhay. Lupang hinilang, tuyang ka ng magiting, sa malulupig, di ka pasisiling, sa dagat at bundok, sa siwayan, sa langit mong wagam, may nilagang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang kisat ng watawat may tagumpay na nagdinilig. Ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may di magdidilig. Lupa ng araw ng manhating masikap, buhay langit sa piling mo. Ang iligaya na pagpay mga atin, ang namatay ng dahil sa'yo.
The meeting proper will now begin, to be led by our chairman, Mr. Albert M. De La Rizabal.
Good afternoon. The meeting will come to order. It is my pleasure to welcome our stockholders to the 2024 Annual Stockholders Meeting of Integrated Microelectronics Incorporated. Complying with all the applicable rules, and after giving our stockholders the opportunity to call for a physical meeting in our notice dated February 8, 2024, we are once again holding our meeting virtually. Nonetheless, we continue to ensure our shareholders' participation in our meeting through our Ayala Group voting system and through questions sent to our Office of the Corporate Secretary's email address. Joining us in this meeting are Arthur R. Tan, our CEO, Jerome S. Tan, our President, Loris S. De La Cruz, our CFO, Franchette M. Acosta, our Corporate Secretary, and Brian B. Halihali, Head of Investor Relations. Also joining us are the other members of and nominees to our board, our other officers, and representatives of SyCip Gorres Velayo and Company, our external auditor. This meeting will have two parts. In the first part, our corporate secretary will inform us about our compliance with the requirements for this meeting, and if the meeting is duly convened, the voting results of the 5 matters in the agenda submitted for approval by our stockholders. In the second part, our management will report to our stockholders our performance in 2023, including our targets and strategic direction, and there will be a question and answer and open forum with our stockholders. Mr. Brian Halihali, our Head of Investor Relations, will read the questions or comments received before 9:30 this morning during the Q&A period. Before we proceed to the first part of the meeting, let me take this opportunity to thank our previous corporate secretary, Mon M. Hermosura, for his years of dedicated service to the corporation. Mon has transitioned to government service early this year, and he is succeeded by Ms. Acosta, who will be walking us through the matters for approval in this meeting. So now we proceed to the first part of the meeting, and I ask, Ms. Secretary, is this meeting duly convened?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, this meeting is duly convened because we have complied with the requirements under our bylaws and the applicable rules of the Securities and Exchange Commission. First, our stockholders have been duly notified of this meeting. On April 3, 2024, we distributed to our stockholders of record as of March 13, 2024, the notice of the annual stockholders meeting by email, by posting on our corporation's website, and by disclosure to the Philippine Stock Exchange. In addition, the notice was published on print and online on April 3 and April 4, 2024, in the Manila Bulletin and Business World. Second, adequate information has been provided to our stockholders on matters submitted for their approval, the voting procedures, and other matters that our corporation is required to provide information on under the Securities and Regulation Code and the Revised Corporation Code. Third, and finally, Mr. Chairman, there is a quorum for this meeting. Present in this meeting by proxy or remote communication or voting in absentia are stockholders owning at least 1,700,132,386 shares, representing 76.68% of the 2,217,293,215 total outstanding shares. The breakdown of the stockholders present in terms of mode of attendance will be reflected in the minutes.
Thank you, Ms. Acosta. Can you now present the matters submitted for voting by our shareholders and the voting results?
Mr. Chairman, there are 5 matters in the agenda for voting by our shareholders. Before I present the voting results, please allow me to mention that a resolution was proposed for each matter as indicated in the notice for this meeting, and the stockholders voted on the proposed resolutions either by the chairman as proxy pursuant to the voting instruction of the stockholder or by electronic ballot via the Ayala Group voting system. Stockholders could cast their votes beginning April 3, 2024, and may continue to do so until the end of this meeting through electronic voting via the voting system. We have tabulated the votes cast as of April 18, 2024, after the end of the proxy validation and preliminary tabulation process. Those votes are from stockholders owning 1,699,558,572 voting shares, representing 99.97% of the total voting shares represented in this meeting, and 76.65% of the total outstanding voting shares. I will be referring to the results of this preliminary tabulation when I report the voting results of each resolution. The results of the final tabulation, with full details of the affirmative and negative votes and abstentions, will be reflected in the minutes of this meeting. Mr. Chairman, let me now present the voting results. The first matter for the voting by our stockholders is the approval of the minutes of the annual stockholders meeting held on April 20, 2023. Resolution number S-01-2024, which is shown on the screen, has been proposed for adoption by the stockholders. Stockholders owning 1,699,558,582 shares, or 99.97% of the total voting shares represented in this meeting, voted to approve the minutes and the resolution. Therefore, resolution number S-01-2024 has been approved. Mr. Chairman, our stockholders may continue to access the minutes through the link provided to them with the meeting materials or through www.global-imi.com. The second matter for the voting by our stockholders is the ratification of all the acts and resolutions adopted from April 20, 2023 until today by our board, executive committee, and other board committees exercising powers delegated by the board, as well as the acts of our officers from April 20, 2023 to date, performed in the general conduct of our business or in accordance with the resolutions of the board, the executive committee, and other board committees and of our bylaws. These acts and resolutions of our board and its committees are reflected in the minutes of the meetings and include matters covered by disclosures to the Securities and Exchange Commission and the Philippine Stock Exchange. For this matter, Resolution number S-02-2024 has been proposed for adoption by the stockholders. The resolution is now shown on the screen. Stockholders owning 1,699,053,524 shares, or 99.94% of the voting shares represented in this meeting, have voted for the adoption of Resolution number S-02-2024. Therefore, the resolution has been adopted. The third matter for the voting by our stockholders is the election of directors. The Corporate Governance and Nomination Committee of the Board has determined that the following 11 duly nominated stockholders, including the nominees for independent directors, are qualified to serve as directors of the corporation for the ensuing term: Alberto M. de la Razabal, Jerome S. Tan, Jose Ignacio A. Carlos, Roland Joseph L. Duchatelet, Rafael C. Romualdez, Jaime Z. Urquijo, Mark Robert H. Uy, Gina Flor C. Oris, Jesse O. Ang, Hiroshi Nishimura, Sherissa P. Nuesa. Mr. Ang, Mr. Nishimura, and Ms. Nuesa have been nominated as independent directors. All the nominees have given their consent to their respective nominations. For this matter, Resolution number S-03-2024 has been proposed for adoption by the stockholders. The resolution is now shown on the screen. Each of the 11 nominees for directors has garnered at least 1,646,891,325 votes, receiving enough votes for election to the board. Resolution number S-03-2024 has been approved. IMI and the board would like to express its deep appreciation and gratitude to its outgoing directors, Mr. Arthur R. Tan and Mr. Edgar Ochua, for their years of service to IMI. The fourth matter for the voting by our stockholders is the election of CCIP Gores Velayo and Company as our external auditor for 2024 for an audit fee of 5,480,000 pesos, exclusive of value-added tax. The Audit Committee and the Board are endorsing this matter for stockholders' approval, and Resolution number S-04-2024, which is shown on the screen, has been proposed for adoption by the stockholders. Stockholders owning 1,699,558,572 shares, or 99.97% of the total voting shares represented in this meeting, voted in favor of Resolution number S-04-2024 for the election of SGV and Company as the corporation's external auditor and the fixing of its remuneration. Thereby, the resolution has been approved. The fifth and final matter for voting by our stockholders is the approval of the consolidated audited financial statements of the corporation and its subsidiaries as of December 31, 2023, and the noting of the corporation's annual report. The financial statements are part of the definitive information statement and annual report, which are accessible from the corporation's website. The financial statements presented to the stockholders for approval has a qualified opinion from the corporation's external auditors due to scope limitations on one of its subsidiaries. Amendments will be made and disclosed at the proper time. For this matter, Resolution Number S-05-2024 has been proposed for adoption by the stockholders. The resolution is now shown on the screen. Stockholders owning 1,646,891,325 shares, or 96.87% of the voting shares represented in this meeting, have voted for the adoption of Resolution Number S-05-2024 for the approval of the consolidated audited financial statements of the corporation and its subsidiaries and the noting of the corporation's annual report. As such, the resolution has been approved. Mr. Chairman, this concludes all the matters for stockholders' approval in today's meeting, and there are no other matters for consideration. Stockholders were notified that they may submit proposals for agenda items, but we have received none.
Thank you, Ms. Secretary. We now proceed to part 2 of this meeting, which is the presentation of management, consisting of the message from the chairman, the message from the chief executive officer, and the report from the president, as well as audiovisual presentations. My pre-recorded message will now be shown, to be followed by IMI's corporate video. Good afternoon, my fellow shareholders. Allow me first to thank my predecessor, Delphine Lazaro, for his stewardship over the past year, and acknowledge the commitment and dedication of our teams in navigating a challenging landscape and delivering at pace. It is my honor and my privilege to serve as your chairman. Our company's shared sense of purpose, focus on customer centricity, and passion for excellence are among our core values that I consider as our powerful strengths and differentiators. The global economy in 2023 grew better than expected at 3.1% amidst the headwinds of slower growth in more advanced countries, the war in Ukraine, the Israel-Hamas conflict, and the higher costs of living. The global electronics manufacturing services industry was up by approximately 5%, driven by increased demand in the electric vehicle ecosystem and the requirement for more digitalization in the industrial space. IMI was able Good afternoon, my fellow shareholders. Allow me first to thank my predecessor, Delphine Lazaro, for his stewardship over the past year, and acknowledge the commitment and dedication of our teams in navigating a challenging landscape and delivering at pace. It is my honor and my privilege to serve as your chairman. Our company's shared sense of purpose, focus on customer centricity, and passion for excellence are among our core values that I consider as our powerful strengths and differentiators. The global economy in 2023 grew better than expected at 3.1% amidst the headwinds of slower growth in more advanced countries, the war in Ukraine, the Israel-Hamas conflict, and the higher costs of living. The global electronics manufacturing services industry was up by approximately 5%, driven by increased demand in the electric vehicle ecosystem and the requirement for more digitalization in the industrial space. IMI was able to capture increased market share in these key areas as the company leveraged its experience in manufacturing high reliability products that also utilize the company's capabilities in power electronics. With the easing of inflation, global demand slowly increased, resulting in pockets of electronics component shortages that lingered for particular items. Generally, the electronics industry was still in contraction mode, with the Purchasing Managers' Index ending the year below 50 basis points. Inventory destocking efforts muted new order volumes as manufacturers served a portion of the increased demand from existing supplies. Moving forward, we expect conditions to improve as the supply of in-demand components catch up and customers start the year with leaner levels of inventories. The core businesses of IMI have managed to stay profitable for the past 3 years through deeper collaboration with major partners to address the uncertainties of the supply chain and the operating landscape. However, overall margins were weighed down by the operating results of our non-core acquired subsidiaries. This prompted us to sell our shares in STI Limited to focus on priority markets in the mobility and industrial space. The divestment has allowed us to concentrate our efforts and resources towards the company's target markets like electric vehicles, advanced driver assistance systems, and smart energy applications. Moreover, the core businesses of the company also sustained the recovery from the previous year, with margins further improved by better manufacturing efficiency and restructured overhead costs. As announced on February 13, 2024, Arthur Tan is retiring after 22 years as CEO of IMI. Art has made invaluable contributions to the business, having successfully led IMI through the global financial crisis and the COVID-19 pandemic, among other turbulent periods in the industry. He transformed the company from a contract manufacturer to one of the world's 25 largest EMS providers and among the top 10 suppliers to the automotive electronics industry. On behalf of the board and everyone at IMI, I would like to express our sincere gratitude for the leadership and the distinguished service that he has provided over the years. Ahead of Art's retirement, a rigorous succession process for the selection of the company's next CEO was conducted. Following careful consideration, Lou Hughes was nominated to succeed Arthur Tan effective May 1, 2024. The board recognized Lou and his several years of experience in the industry, depth of experience in sales, engineering, sourcing, and operations, and the broad range of executive duties for both private and publicly listed EMS companies as key attributes suited to the role and to IMI's medium to long-term objectives. I look forward to working with my colleagues on the board in supporting IMI through this transition process and helping Lou as he takes on the reins in leading IMI to its next chapter. Today is an excellent time to take stock of the progress made over the past decades and the actions needed for IMI to return to better profitability. As we face a dynamic market environment, we will double down on our core expertise within our automotive and industrial capabilities. We will continue to build on our reputation within niche areas and carve inroads in emerging subsegments that highlight our focus in the electrification of vehicles, intelligent machines, and their ecosystems. We remain aligned with our purpose of innovating production solutions for our customers, contributing to the development of the electronics industry, and playing a responsible role in shaping a future that improves the world. Lastly, we would like to thank you, our shareholders, for your continued support and unwavering trust in the management team. We are optimistic of what is ahead as we all work together in creating the future today. Thank you. Let us now turn our attention to the pre-recorded message of our Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Arthur R. Tan.
Fellow shareholders, colleagues, and partners, 22 years ago, I joined IMI with a vision that a Philippine-based contract manufacturing firm with USD 75 million revenue can transform into a global leader as a technology-based product solutions provider. With teamwork, we faced momentous task of building the company into one of the largest players in the industry. We shaped IMI into a thriving organization serving the most respected and recognized brands around the globe. This journey is a testament to our unique areas of expertise and approach with focus of our high-performing teams. And I stand today with an immense sense of pride for everything we have achieved and the path forward that we have laid for the company. While there is much work to be done, the business is on solid footing with the right resources in the right places, benefiting from our early actions in the last decade despite a challenging year in 2023. With still raised levels of cost of inputs, geopolitical issues, holding back global supply chains, IMI continued to bring in business with a total sales of $1.3 billion. With our capabilities, certifications, and management approach, which remain a key strategic advantage and long-term value driver. IMI won new projects that have an annual revenue potential of US $291 million, mostly in the mobility and industrial segments. Still, staying the course requires a constant evolution, given the trends in our business. In October of 2023, we completed the divestment of STI Enterprises Limited, a UK-based subsidiary offering electronics design and manufacturing solutions to aerospace, security, and defense customers. These transactions allowed our leadership to refine and execute our strategy, as well as capital allocation in our priority markets. On a broader level, I would also highlight the greater emphasis we are placing on sustainability. In 2022, we aligned our direction with our parent company, Ayala Corporation, towards a net zero carbon target by 2050. In 2023, we have committed to reduce 50% of our carbon emission intensity in scopes 1 and 2 by 2030 and 25% in scope 3 by the same year. To ensure accuracy and transparency, we have engaged a third-party consultant to validate our emission numbers. To date, 14 of our top 20 customers have current ESG engagements, which include separate sustainability audits, net zero commitments, and sustainable procurement. By the end of 2023, the combined revenues of all our customers engaged in ESG activities is at US $737 million, about 66% of our total core revenues. We are also furthering our efforts to drive sustainability in the value chain through our total quality management approach and proactive risk-based thinking. With a total savings of US $3.6 million from Kaizen projects from our IMI production system, we continue to display increased global participation in our quality journey. We have also ensured that our 150 top suppliers are aligned with IMI's code of conduct, as they all signed the commitment aligned with our ESG objectives. At the same time, we continue to introduce a range of initiatives to support our people in different ways, such as the enhancement of our own IMI culture, increased training opportunities for employees, and continuous review of corporate rewards and benefits. This has resulted in a high total employee engagement score of 89% for the year. As IMI embarks on the next chapter, I have no doubt that it will follow the right path, doing right by our stakeholders, our shareholders, employees, customers, vendor partners, and the environment. On February 13, the board announced that Lou Hughes has been nominated to succeed me as CEO. While this presents a significant transition for the company, in its core, IMI have always embraced change. It is a key guiding principle that has steered us to greater horizons. On a personal note, I would like to thank all of you for the trust and mutual respect we have shared over the years. Along the way, I have been blessed with friendship, compassion, kindness, and patience from everyone. To our IMI associates, it has been a tremendous honor to serve you. Of all our achievements, I have always been most proud of the IMI culture that we have nurtured, and I will miss it greatly. To our customers, it has been an honor and a privilege working with you, and I'm incredibly grateful for the relationship we have built over the years. My most sincere gratitude for the trust and support you have extended me and IMI. To our shareholders and all our stakeholders, thank you for your engagement and the role that you have played in our efforts throughout my tenure as CEO. I hope that you are as proud as I am for what we have accomplished and also looking forward to what is to come. Thank you to everyone who has shared this vision of IMI that continues to be a catalyst for enabling all these wonderful products change our lives that make the world a better place to live. My personal achievement extends beyond the financial performance of this company, but to the thousands of lives we have been able to touch. For every employee who has been able to send their children to school, to have a place to call home, to be able to better their lives, these are what I look back as the most proud achievement I have been blessed to be a part of. I wish the next generation of IMI leadership never forgets the why we continue to drive IMI into the future. To all, thank you very much, and God bless.
Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Just on a personal note, I want to thank Albert as the new chairman, his friend, who has taken on the cudgel of taking the helm and running the ship. To Jerome, who's been there from the past and have been very, very good in helping me manage through all the different challenges, and of course, the senior management and to the board for all the support they've given, and none of which would have been IMI would have been able to achieve without which. So with this, I'd like to then move on to show you another video highlighting the achievements of IMI through the years, and after which this will be followed by the report from our president, Jerome Estan. Thank you.
Good afternoon. The global electronics market has been through a period of significant change and uncertainty in the last 4 years. Many factors have caused this change, but most of them involve challenges resulting from the COVID-19 pandemic, the electronics component shortage, and the lingering effects on the industry. The year 2023 showed continued normalization in the supply chain recovery that started in the previous year, as well as the easing of global inflation. Geopolitical conflicts and the general slowdown of the global economy, however, are headwinds that we believe will hinder the path to a strong recovery. To proactively address the challenges, we focused on driving margin expansion, mainly from assertive price negotiations with customers to pass on the increased raw material and inflationary costs of labor and utilities. The continuous productivity improvements in manufacturing operations, which enabled improved utilization of fixed overhead, and the reduction of direct material costs facilitated by the normalization of the global supply chain. A more global oversight of the supply chain management helped ensure the allocation of restricted components among our manufacturing sites that mitigated shortfalls and delays in the delivery of finished goods to our customers. We also made certain that our approach was aligned with the increasing regionalization of sourcing that continues to drive lower levels of freight expenses. We believe these actions also allow us to be in a better position to secure new business wins over the past several years, with $291 million of annual revenue potential wins in 2023. Largely coming from our target sectors in the mobility and industrial markets. With more than 12,000 people in 21 manufacturing plants across 9 countries, labor management was a key challenge for us this year. One of IMI's key competitive advantages in the past decade has been our strategic geographic positioning, which enables us to address the need of global players in the electronic space. However, given the current industry landscape, the regions we operate in have also become pivotal technology hubs, driving extreme competitive labor environments in Europe and North America. The global economic slowdown and our customers' focus on depleting excess inventory presented another challenge. This inventory correction stemmed from inflated levels during the electronics component shortage, when increased ordering was necessary to secure parts. Due to the unstable market in recent years that led to industry-wide backlogs, we have been focused on managing our own inventory levels. We are thankful that our customers see us not only as suppliers, but a key partner in the growth and development of our businesses. Such strong relationship afforded us to share some of the burden of the overall weak market by renegotiating prices and commercial terms to ensure business relationships that settle on a healthy middle ground. This allowed our wholly owned core subsidiaries to further develop and turn around that started in 2021. While revenue levels were maintained, operating margins improved through better manufacturing efficiency and enhanced utilization of our restructured overhead costs. It is too early to draw firm conclusions on whether such environment will persist longer than expected, but we continuously examine and closely monitor our business for the markets ahead. For one, we started to specialize in areas where we have a competitive advantage rather than spreading ourselves too thinly. In October 2023, we entered into an agreement to sell IMI's 80% share of its subsidiary, STI Limited, to R Capital, a private investment firm based in London with a portfolio of UK-based companies, including precision engineering solution providers in the aerospace and defense sector. The conclusion of this divestment initiative allowed us to sharpen our capabilities and focus on driving growth and profitability in our core segments. These are the mobility and industrial markets fueled by interconnectivity and the electrification of vehicles, which are driving the technology megatrends of the future. IMI ended the year with total revenues of $1.3 billion, a 6% decrease versus the previous year and is driven by factors attributable to its non-wholly owned subsidiary group, including the shorter fiscal year of STI Enterprises Limited, which was divested on October 31, 2023. Gross profitability grew to 9.1%, an improvement of 125 basis points, driven by renegotiated prices and the improved supply chain environment. Of the $109.2 million net loss we booked, $106.1 million is related to one-time losses that stemmed from the sale of STI and the impairment of goodwill and certain assets. Despite the slowdown in demand of the EMS market, our wholly owned subsidiaries posted financial results in line with 2022 figures. Sales levels were maintained with a 0.4% improvement in contribution margins and net income improving by 14% to $13 million. The automotive segment, which includes mobility and camera, remained as our largest segment with $799 million of revenues, representing 60% of our total sales. This sector will be further bolstered by our new business wins from the past 3 years as these projects ramp up, including our manufacturing partnership with Zero EV Motorcycles. We are also expanding the steering application program of one of our top customers in next-generation models at IMI Mexico. There are also multiple EV-dedicated projects, including HVAC systems that address the need for cabin heating in the absence of internal combustion engines in our European and Mexican facilities. IMI remains in the cutting edge of mobility technology as products in advanced camera applications in LiDAR are being developed in partnership with one of the biggest Tier 1 players in the industry. I am confident that by leveraging the experience we have built these past decades, we will continue to be a global leader in this space, helping develop safer, more sustainable mobility solutions for the world. The industrial segment, which ended the year with $390 million in revenues, or a 29% share of IMI's total revenues, is still anchored on our products in security solutions. Growth will be driven by increased demand for solutions that enable IoT and its many applications. We also continue to venture in energy management products with recently won projects in battery management systems that support the push for EVs and renewable energy. Industrial LED lighting likewise continues to grow with additional business secured in a sector that has historically been a profit leader in our portfolio. The component shortage that resulted from a variety of factors, including supply chain disruptions and semiconductor manufacturing constraints, brought about unique hurdles. Although such challenges impacted production schedules and posed logistical constraints for the industry, they also presented opportunities for innovation and collaboration, allowing us to manifest our resilience, which we believe sets us apart from the competition. Throughout the year, we continued to prioritize the need of our customers, building strong relationships based on trust, reliability, and mutual support. We remained agile and adaptive in our approach in maintaining the level of quality that we have always been known for. Our management teams spent time with both our clients and supplier partners to build customer-centric solutions. We provided proactive support, anticipating potential challenges and disruptions of our customers. By embracing the principle of the IMI Production System, or IPS, we have been able to take advantage of the associated benefits of global best practices, such as the continuous improvement ideals of Kaizen and the efficiency of lean manufacturing. Despite our wide geographic footprint, the IPS ensures that each of our sites delivers consistent, reliable, and top quality solutions for all our customers. With direct material costs close to 70% of our revenues, effective procurement strategies are crucial in serving our customers and generating value for IMI. Our supply chain teams explored alternative sourcing options, which expanded the company's supply chain base, allowing us to cope with customer order timelines and the increase of raw material costs. We also dedicated resources to address the market supply gap by implementing spot buy strategies while aiming to minimize additional expenses. By engaging in design for manufacturing, we maximize quality and flexibility through the co-designing of projects with strategic suppliers that enable us to even exceed customer quality and efficiency expectations. With our efficient commercial team, who have nurtured deep-rooted partnerships with key players in the industry, we were able to renegotiate prices to align with the current market environment. Collections of approximately $15 million were made in 2023 for unfavorable purchase price variances that we had incurred during the height of the pandemic and the component shortage, helping recoup the expenses that had strained our financial results in the past 3 years. The improvements stretched beyond profitability, as inventory management was also a main focus across all departments. Significant recoveries amounting to approximately $24 million were made in 2023 to address excess and obsolete materials, further strengthening our robust balance sheet. We also secured agreements for advanced deposits for raw material purchases, easing some of the pressures we face in this high interest rate environment. We are confident that the improved credit terms with both customers and suppliers that we revised in 2023 will result in better cash flow generation for IMI in the years to come. In the process, we have also kept our cost base under close scrutiny and used the talent and resources that we have to maintain financial stability and competitiveness. Employee engagement is one of the main reasons this has been effective. At every level of the business, our employees are empowered and trained to identify opportunities that could increase our performance outcomes while keeping in mind our high quality standards. Added to this, our talent development efforts, such as cross-training programs, have proven to be valuable in bringing new perspective. The electrification of vehicles and the adoption to automated driving continue to be the key growth drivers in the electronics industry. With EVs relying heavily on electronic components for their engine, battery management, steering systems, and ADAS applications, we are bullish about leveraging the expertise we have built these past several years. The current and future demand for sophisticated power electronics systems also give us confidence in building our power module capabilities in the Philippines. We believe that IMI is ahead of the curve in this regard, helping push the boundaries of technological innovation to enable a safer, more sustainable future. The past years have seen an increased share in our new pipeline wins for EV and PHEV dedicated applications. This year is no different, with a total of $291 million of annual revenue potential of new businesses secured across the whole group, $174 million of which came from the mobility segment, while $106 million from industrial. As market conditions appear to be promising, we shall continue to maximize our scale, expertise, and experience to improve our financial results. IMI management is bent on promoting excellence, accountability, and collaboration in all the facets of the company. These pillars are interconnected and mutually reinforcing the principles that we believe shall drive organizational success and which will ensure that we achieve our goals of sustainable, profitable growth. In closing, I would like to thank all our shareholders for your unwavering support for IMI. The past few years have not been easy, but I am glad that we remained united and are now starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. I'm also grateful to the more than 12,000 IMI employees who have worked tirelessly in helping us navigate through the headwinds. Without your hard work and dedication, none of these successes would have been possible. Thank you.
We will now address questions and comments from the stockholders. Our Investor Relations Head, Mr. Brian Halihali, will now read out the questions and comments.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll read the questions received in advance through email. The first question is, why is VIA delayed in its filings and release of its audited financial statements?
Allow me to ask Jerome to answer this question, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Due to VIA's internal review process of its compliance procedures, which was announced to have only been closed in February 28th of this year, VIA faced delays in the filing of its Form 20-F with the U.S. SEC for the year ended 2022. This delay had an impact on the completion of VIA's 2023 financial statement. Currently, work on the 2022 and 2023 financial statements remains ongoing with close coordination between the management team of VIA and its external auditor. We are only able to share information that VIA had already previously disclosed in compliance with the applicable security laws and regulations in the New York Stock Exchange. Based on IMI's own internal assessment of the progress of this ongoing audit, IMI is targeting to refile its Form 17A, which will include an unqualified opinion on the IMI Group's financial statement for the year 2023 on or before May 31, 2024. The audit procedures for the rest of IMI entities have been completed with no findings from SGV and Company, and there are no expected material changes for the rest of the accounts under the IMI Group.
Thank you, Jerome. The second question is, will IMI be changing strategic directions moving forward?
Let me take this one. We believe that the strategy of IMI continues to be sound and continues to be well positioned to take advantage of mega trends that are driving the global economy. And as such, we don't expect to have a significant shift in our strategy. The immediate objective of the board is to be able to transform IMI and put it in a solid position with a much stronger balance sheet and healthier margins, which in turn would allow IMI to continue to invest in growth and its employees. One of the priorities is to reduce overhead expenses to allow IMI to improve profitably and offer competitive bids for new businesses from customers, which in turn will drive more sustainable growth. This may mean a continued review of our cost structure to drive for better efficiency. It should be deemed as a positive for IMI, since it would improve the profit pool that in turn will be used to reinvest in the resources and capabilities of IMI moving forward.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Our annual stockholders meeting is coming to a close, and we will answer one final question. Management will reply through email to any questions and comments not taken up during the meeting. The final question for this meeting is, what is IMI's strategy in addressing the various geopolitical issues happening across the globe?
Art, can I ask you to respond to this one?
Very happy to do so. Resilience has been the hallmark of IMI over the years. And this is a testament over the last 43 years. IMI has had a history of going through a multitude of natural and geopolitical issues. And this is something that has happened not only on a national basis, regionally, or even globally. As a key competitive advantage that IMI has had over the past decade is its strategic geographic positioning, which we have involved in, enables us to address the changing needs of the global players in the electronic space. This allowed us to be flexible in offering consistent and reliable manufacturing solutions across multiple regions. As our sphere of influence within our global customer partnerships adapts to these inflections, so do IMI internally, using our strategic global assets as it is. Standardization of our manufacturing lines, multiple source supply chains that has been implemented, flexibility in our manpower deployments, and diverse engineering expertise. On top of this, as what we have just covered, the expertise of our new leadership, led by Lou, bodes well in managing through these externalities, which is affecting everybody and not just IMI. So in this front, I think strategically, it is sound that we're moving forward. We now have a team that is able and have already started in its engagement with the different strategic focus in addressing specifically these issues that is happening on a global basis. I hope this answers the question. Thank you.
Thank you, Art. Thank you, stockholders, for your questions and active participation in today's meeting. The link to the audio and video recording of this meeting will be posted on our website. Stockholders may raise any issue, clarification, and concern about this meeting by sending an email to corporatesecretary@global-imi.com. Thank you.
This now concludes this afternoon's proceedings, and the meeting is hereby adjourned. Allow me to thank you once again for joining us today. Good afternoon.